We'll begin with a look at what could happen to younger children if someone were to try and lure your child from the playground. It's an encore presentation of Stranger Danger, a report that won an award of excellence from the Lone Star Emmy Association.
It's got to be one of the most terrifying feelings for a parent. You turn your back for just a second and your child is gone. It can happen anywhere at any time. A stranger can approach your child, coax him into a car, and leave all in a matter of minutes. Now, to find out just how easily it can happen, we visited Fairview Park in Sherman. Under the supervision of Sherman police, our photographer Dave Potter posed as a stranger with a puppy. Meet 4-year-old Kylie Harmon. Now, we talked with Kylie's mom just before our experiment, and she agreed to let us test her children. Just minutes after, Kylie approached our stranger.
Puppy likes you.
There goes one little girl. These kids are naturally attracted to animals, and it looks like the little girl's going to follow. Hopefully this is a parent who knows what's going on. And this is what's scary. He could snatch her and be gone in just a matter of moments. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how quick it can happen. This is why it's important. If your kids are big enough that you let them wander around the park without keeping a constant eye on them, it's important to teach them about stranger awareness.
Oh, I don't see
He could have easily loaded that little girl in the van and been gone within a matter of minutes.
It's very interesting. It was a little bit disturbing to see how easily she just walked right off.
Tell me a little bit about the puppy.
I like it, but Mommy said not to do anything with him.
Yeah? Do you know about strangers? Kylie's older sister, Courtney, also went with our stranger to the van. Do you think that you were in any danger? No, why not?
Because I just didn't think about it.
Meet Peyton Graves. She approached our stranger while he was still talking with Kylie.
And so now we've got round two. The first little girl had the dog, and then other kids see it and think, well, it must be okay.
Once again, within just minutes, Peyton was on her way to the van with our stranger. Peyton's grandmother says she talks to her granddaughter about strangers, but Peyton didn't know she was doing anything wrong. Did you go with somebody you didn't know because he had the puppy?
Oh, I like the little puppy.
Was he not a stranger?
No, he didn't bite.
It was scary, even though that I had talked to you and knew it was just all a game. It was still real scary. I almost wanted to run and check on her. We've been reading stories. I read her the Little Red Riding Hood story and about the big bad wolf and about him being the stranger, and kind of used that analogy with her, but apparently it's not sunk in quite yet.
Sergeant Bruce Dawsey says talking to children about strangers is good, but he says children need to understand strangers aren't always scary.
And we talked to them about strangers. I heard you give the example of Little Red Riding Hood.
Yes.
And we're picturing a big bad wolf, or we're picturing something with long hair and big teeth and something scary looking. But we're not picturing Dave, who, you know, looks like somebody's dad or grandfather with a cute little dog.
Each person we spoke with told us they have talked to their children about strangers, but after watching what happened at the park, they say they'll talk to them again.
Well, I think we need to role play with her. I think I've seen this on TV before, and about people role playing with their children, and I think that's a really good idea, because I think they need to really go through the motions in order to learn it. Just a story's not enough, or just talking's not enough.
When it's time to talk, here's a few tips. Sergeant Dawsey says when a child is old enough to wander from arm's reach, it's time to talk about strangers. Tell children that a stranger is someone who they don't know, who's not an authority figure, and make sure to talk about strangers numerous times. Once is not enough. Discuss several scenarios with children. Tell them strangers can pose as someone with an animal or candy, or maybe even someone just asking for directions. Also, Don't display your child's name in clear view of strangers. This means avoid putting a child's name on their backpack or shirt, maybe even your vehicle.
And while predators may lure younger children with items like animals or candy, those preying on teens use the power of emotion, oftentimes over the internet. They offer their attention, their friendship, all with the click of a mouse.
They pretend to be a teenager so that other teenagers will talk to them. They flatter the kids. They tell them their pictures are beautiful, how smart they are, how cool they are, whatever it is that will be flattering to the child to hear or the minor. They give kids attention. They just will spend hours and hours. We're finding when we go into a lot of these homes where we know we have child predators, we're finding that these guys are on the computer sometimes 18 hours a day and have extensive logs about kids who are willing to chat with them, and they will log on and they'll feign interest so that the kid feels like someone's paying attention to them.
Michelle Ratcliffe with Project Safe Childhood says predators discuss topics with your children that you usually would avoid, like sex, drugs, piercings. In fact, the #1 search term on the internet is sex. Now we'll go deeper into online solicitation, including what's being done to stop it and what you can do as a parent to keep your children safe. We'll have that for you tomorrow night on KTEN News at 10. That was our web poll question today as well. We asked, do you talk to your children about potential predators? 88% of those who voted say yes, they do. 12% say they do not. As always, thanks for logging on to KTEN.com.